The following is a production of Learfield Sports.
On a wet and windy Saturday night, the Texas State Bobcats are trying to get back in the win column in their first home game in over a month as they host the South Alabama Jaguars in Week 8 of the 2015 season. Rolls to his right, swinging the right leg, low line drive, end over end punt, inside the 20, inside the 15, and rolls all the way down to the 5-yard line. That's a 60-yard punt off the foot of Luby Kama. Handoff Johnson behind right tackle. A burst across the 30. A chance to go all the way inside of midfield at the Bobcat 30. Tackled finally by McDowell. At the Texas State 24-yard line, a parting of the Red Sea at line of scrimmage, and Johnson the beneficiary. First down. Clements out of the gun. Snap back. Bobcats rush 4. Pass far side is low and incomplete. Towards the boundary, defended well by David Mims. Jaguars looking for Josh McGee, and it brings up 4th down. 4 wide for Jones, 2 either way. Jaguars dropping 8 in coverage. Jones being rushed, spins out of a sack, rolls left. Jones eyes downfield, throws downfield, and the pass is intercepted. Did he stay in bounds? At the 25-yard line, he did. Interception, South Alabama, the Texas State 25. Cats showing a blitz. They're going to rush 5. Play fake. Clements pressured, and down he goes. It's a Bobcat sack back in midfield. Dondre Elvoid. Motion from White right to left. Here comes the blitz. Jones, the keeper, at the 15, 20. Tyler Jones trying to juke out a defender. Spins his way to the 31-yard line. Tyler Jones with a big gash of 21 yards to the Bobcat first down. Jones out of the shotgun, 3 receivers. Takes a snap, looks near side. Pass caught by Smith. Judge a tackle, the 40-yard line. Inside the 35. Pushed out by Earl at the South Alabama 33-yard line. Tremendous catch and run from Brandon Smith. At the Jaguar 26, 2nd and 3. Gaines comes in motion. Jones, play fake, rolls right, gonna run now. 25, 20, cuts back inside of the 15, and down to the 4-yard line is Tyler Jones. Another run. 2nd to goal from the 3. Jones out of the gun, calls for the snap, hands off to Lowe. No cup to himself, and he will trot into the end zone untouched. Touchdown, Texas State.
95-yard touchdown drive when, we've seen these guys have been trying, but we've seen at times the Bobcat offense unable to get out of their own way, and that was methodical.
Sunanon back out to punt the ball. Neon green shoes. McDowell to return. It is zone 10. And Sunanon going to run it now. Sunanon is tackled at the 47-yard line. I don't know if that was a called fake with the Jaguars, but if it was, it failed spectacularly, and the Bobcats take over in Jaguar territory. Option play. Now Jones rears back to throw. Going downfield, near side man open. Gaines at the 25-yard line, out of bounds. And the Jaguar 23, forced down by Thompson, and the Cats pick up 24 in the play. First to goal, the Jaguar 3. Out of the pistol, Jones. Gabe behind him, Lowe to his right. Handoff Lowe, running to his left. Lowe charges for the goal line, and he's in for the Bobcat touchdown. From 53 yards out, Aleem Sunanon, preseason first team All-Sunbelt kicker. Snap to McKee is low. The set is down by Sunanon. End over end, well short. McDowell will return from the goal line. 5 to the 10. Left to the 15 to the 20. 25, head of steam of the 40. Near sideline, breaks a tackle. Down the near sideline. 30, 20. They will not catch him today. Touchdown, Texas State, 100 yards.
Well, pretty good, solid defensive effort, and big play there at the end by Brandon McDowell, and got a long way to go, though. We need to have a good third quarter.
Offense found some other rhythm there in the second quarter. How do you extend that into the second half?
Well, we just got to execute. We got to block, and we got to take care of the football, not get penalties and get behind the chain.
Good luck, Coach. Thanks.
At their own 36, Bobcats again, that psycho package on defense. Shotgun snap back to Clements. Cats bring a blitz. Pass near side is intercepted. No. David Mims would have had a pick 6 on the near side and dropped the ball. They'll settle for a pass breakup, and it brings up 4th down. Jones out of the shotgun, his own 13, moving from right to left. Carton comes in motion left. Handoff to Lowe, running left. 15, 20, near side 25, 30. Down the near sideline goes Robert Lowe. Dances out of bounds at the Bobcat 43-yard line. A 30-yard gallop for Robert Lowe, first down. Handoff Lowe. No, Jones the keeper at the 45-40. Bounces right 35. And able to trot out of bounds at the South Alabama 32. Gain of 18 for Tyler Jones. First down, Jaguar 32. Handoff Low this time left for the 30. Bouncing left 25 to the 20. Charges down to the Jaguar 17-yard line. 15 more yards on the ground for the Bobcats. Jones, handoff Low. Counter move to the left. Inside the 10 to the 5. And streaks into the end zone for the touchdown.
The offensive line was getting a big push, and we really needed that. Tyler Jones and Rob Lowe had big games running the ball, so that was a big turning point in our offensive line getting it together.
Clements out of the gun, flips to the man in motion, running back to the near side, chopped out at the 15-yard line. Tackle in space made by Dylan Rosemond, bringing down Claude Garrett. No gain, 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10, Jaguar 43, 3 wide, handoff Low, running left, trying to find an alley at the 40, stumbles a bit, 35, across the 30, into the 20-yard line, turns on the Jets, and is down at the Jaguar 10. A 34-yard gallop for Robert Lowe. What a night for the senior. Snap, set down, kick is up by Kaba, and the kick is perfect. And gives the Bobcats a 3-possession lead. Under center, no, it is a direct stop to the tight end Everett. Everett will run it into the end zone for the touchdown. So that is his 5th straight game with a score. Keeps that streak alive, and the Jaguars back-to-back touchdown drives, and they make it a 13-point game with 10:15 left. 3 receivers now for Clements. Bobcats showing a blitz. They're going to rush 4. Clements back to throw in the pocket, being pressured. And now slips, flag is in. It's going to be a hold, and Clements is sacked anyway.
We just wanted to like come back home and show the home field that we have been making strides on defense, and we're turning the season around, heading in the right direction. And I think tonight we took a big step toward that.
With 2 tight ends, turns and gives to Lowe. Up left guard, bounces left at the 50, cutting back inside of the 40. Between the hashes, 30. Bounces left to the 15-yard line, 20. At the 5 to the end zone for the touchdown. 54 yards for Robert Lowe. Caps off a brilliant night.
Great job by the defense tonight, and kept them out. Didn't get past 20, so that was good. And a solid job by the offense. I don't believe there was a turnover on the entire night. Big play by Brandon McDowell before the half that helped us. And Rob Lowe, what do you say? Big run there at the end that put it away.
SWBC Mortgage. Pre-qualify for your new home today. Find a branch near you at score.swbcmortgage.com.
My family has been growing crops here since the late 1800s.
We're Texas farmers through and through, and that's why we love HEB. They've been supporting local farms like ours for generations.
And they buy more of our corn than anyone else in Texas.
Over 10 million pounds annually, and they use it to make great products like HEB corn chips.
So when you try them, you're eating a little piece of Texas.
We're the Sawdoff family, and this is the locally grown department at HEB. No store does more than my HEB.
At Texas State University, more than 36,000 Bobcats from all 50 states and 61 nations enjoy a beautiful Hill Country campus in the Austin metropolitan area. We offer nearly 200 degrees with retention and graduation rates among the best in the state. Our faculty are world-class researchers in diverse fields, and at our newly expanded Star Park, we're developing the future of nanotechnology. One atom at a time. Texas State University, the rising star of Texas.
The Sun Belt's not an easy conference, so it's really fun to play in.
Everything's a step up. Competition, the speed of the game.
Just to get the opportunity to play the game I love, get my degree.
Great teams, great players, outstanding coaches. And
you have to play your A game every night.
Knowing that every time we go out there and play somebody, it's not going to be an easy game. You're going to get their best game every time.
You never know what results you're going to get.
There's never a definite winner. I think everyone has a possibility to win.
I wouldn't want to be part of any other conference.
Check out HEB's Tailgate of the Week. These awesome tailgaters decked out their campsite with HEB products in a creative way. If you want to be next week's HEB's winner, check out heb.com/tailgate. No store does more than HEB.
We played much improved on defense. That was good to see, and tackled a lot better. Only had 9 missed tackles in the game, which was marked improvement. Kept the ball in front of us pretty good, and Rob Lowe had a breakout night, and our kicking game was excellent. Lumi Kaba was great, and of course the big return by Brandon McDowell before half kind of changed the game around a little bit. Rob was great at finding the seams, putting his foot in the ground, hitting his cuts. Tyler made some great reads, and the offensive line did a nice job up front. We would have had a lot more yards if we didn't have a couple untimely holding penalties that hurt us a little bit. But we controlled the line of scrimmage. As the game wore on, we controlled it more and more, and we kind of had the opportunity to put the game away in the fourth quarter with the last drive, and we did that.
Between the hashes, 30, bounces left to the 15-yard line, 20, at the 5, to the end zone for the touchdown.
Well, after that Brandon McDowell return there for the touchdown, I think our whole team was pretty charged up at halftime, which was good to see. But there's no doubt the defensive guys were feeling good. They hadn't let him cross the stripe, and Brad had preached that all week, and they had done a great job of that. In fact, I think there was about 2 minutes to go in the third quarter before that actually happened. So they took some pride in that, and they got some energy off of that, and certainly I think gave them some confidence more and more as the game wore on.
Yeah, throughout the whole week, Coach Brad, he preached that it doesn't matter how many yards we give up as long as they don't cross the line. So I just had that mentality going out. The whole defense had the mentality that no matter what, we're going to just give our all until they cross the line. So until the fourth quarter, 0-0-0, we're going to continue to fight.
When you're in weekly preparation of a game plan, it's hard to spend as much time on changes and fundamentals as you'd like to. And as it turns out, the 2 weeks out of 3 being off gave him about 6, 7, maybe 8 practices to work on the changes that we wanted to make in our defense and the scheme and how we taught some things. And so we wouldn't have been able to get as much of that done without that time off.
At Pizza Hut, we've got a carry-out deal just for you. Any pizza, any size, any crust, and any topping for just $10. You want a large hand-tossed pepperoni and mushroom? $10. Or maybe you're a large pan supreme kind of person. $10. Thinking about a combination of your own? Well, that's $10 too. That's any pizza, any size, any crust, and any topping for just $10. And get stuffed crust for just $2 more. This $10 carry-out deal ends soon, so hurry to Pizza Hut today.
How do you show your Bobcat pride? Now you can show it off and keep your money here at Texas State, because whenever you buy at the University Bookstore at Texas State, that money stays here on campus. Apparel, books, gifts, and much more. Online or in the heart of Bobcat country, find it, get it, and keep it on campus. University Bookstore at Texas State, your bookstore.
number one, I wanted to freeze the kicker. We had a timeout. And then number two, I thought maybe if we put Brandon back there, we might even talk him out of even trying to kick it. But number three, I didn't think he could kick it that far, and especially with the way the wind was and the rain and everything that night. So I thought, well, maybe we'd get a return, but it's hard to sit on the sideline and think maybe we'll take this one all the way to the house. It was pretty electric.
From 53 yards out, Aleem Sunanan, preseason first team All Sunbelt kicker. Snap to McKee is low. The set is down by Sunanan. End over end, well short. McDowell will return from the goal line, 5 to the 10. Left to the 15 to the 20. 25, head of steam of the 40. Near sideline, breaks the tackle. Down the near sideline. 30, 20. They will not catch him today. Touchdown, Texas State, 100 yards.
They were kicking the field goals pretty long. At first we were going to block it, but Coach Fran called a timeout, sent me back there, and I knew if they missed it, I had a chance because there was a lot of linemen on the field. And then just took off to the races.
Well, I think it was a great individual effort on Brandon McDowell's part, and there was 10 guys out there that were blocking for him, and everybody did it right. And that's one of the things when you see him catch it in the end zone, the first thing that goes through my mind is please block in front. And I think that's a bubble burster for them to go into halftime after having just given up a touchdown like that, and it's a testament to our coaching staff to have that ready and to be able to execute it on such short notice. And the players were the ones, BMAC catching it and those other 10 getting in front of them and blocking, and I don't know, it was 109 yards. It'd have been 113 if he'd have caught it 3 yards out of the end zone. Unfortunately, they'd have blown it dead. But it was a great individual effort on their part. It was just exciting to run down the sideline and cheer for them as they scored.
SWBC is with you to help plan for life's little adventures. We're here so you have one less thing to worry about. We can help turn a dream into a reality. And we let you focus on your business, not on business paperwork. Wherever you are in life, we're with you.
Let's eat.
Well, I think there was a lot of mixed emotions. Grew to love JT, and a little disappointed that it ended when it did and how it did. And then also had obviously some nervousness and then some excitement. So it was pretty good roller coaster to ride and kind of take it all in and then try to get to a place where I could be organized and help us move forward and make progress.
I think the thing that Brad has done is taken out ambiguity, uncertainty, make it pretty much you do this when this happens, and this is where you align, this is how you do it, and kind of made it a clearer picture for them. And for players, when it's more clear, they're more confident. When they're more confident, they play faster, and I think he's done that. That's the biggest accomplishment he's done.
Well, it's a fine line. We're looking for change, and so making progress and figuring out obviously what I know, what fits our personnel, how much change can we endure and be efficient with. Those were the three things that I had to really decide, and jumped into it and threw a lot of ideas at the coaches, and then had to finalize kind of what direction we were going to.
We responded to Coach Brad very well. I mean, he preached enthusiasm, swarming to the ball, everything that just requires for a top defense, and I think we responded well.
Sunanon back out to punt the ball. Neon green shoes. McDowell to return at his zone 10. And Sunanon going to run it now. Sunanon is tackled at the 47-yard line. I don't know if that was a called fake with the Jaguars, but if it was, it failed spectacularly, and the Bobcats take over in Jaguar territory.
Well, we got a chance to instill some of the changes schematically. Obviously, being healthy, I think, showed up Saturday night. And then, you know, the football's blocking and tackling. And on defense, you better know where your eyes go, or you're going to get fooled. And so that's really kind of what we broke it down into, the nuts and bolts of trying to play good defense and trying to not just spend time at practice running plays, but spend time at practice teaching eyes, teaching fundamentals, and doing drills where they have to execute winning technique. And then all of a sudden the plays start looking better. And that's really kind of where it started, at just a grassroots, let's get better at these things. And then as we keep changing schematically into what we think we can be personnel-wise, we started to see some of the fruition of it.
Cats showing a blitz. They're going to rush 5. Play fake. Clements pressured, and down he goes. It's a Bobcat sack back in midfield. Dondre Elvoid. Clements out of the gun. Flips to the man in motion. Running back to the near side. Chopped out at the 15-yard line. Tackle in space made by Dilla Rosemont, bringing down Claude Garrett.
Not demanding, but he holds them accountable. Takes out the gray. Makes it black or white. Expects them then to do their job. Heavy on pursuit. He calls it swarm. And high energy is certainly a good description.
I believe that you got to do what your players can do, and that's the most important thing. Your playbook can be the best playbook in the world, but if your players can't execute it, it's going to look bad on game day. So, my philosophy is, I want to have a lot of defense, but I want to have enough the amount of defense that we can go out and execute well. And even after victory, there's things that I'm learning as a coach and that our coaches see. And your players teach you what you're teaching and what you're not teaching. And there were some plays from Saturday night. It's great to win, but you still got to make sure you learn from some of the mistakes you saw on the field. So, I think schematically we continue to evolve into what we can be. And I think the players control how much and how little. When we get too much and they have to think, and they can't play fast. And if you can't play fast on defense, you can't stop these offenses today. You're seeing the kind of points that people are putting up. You got to be able to play fast. And if you're trying to out-scheme everybody, a lot of times you don't even have time to get the scheme on the field so the guys can run it. So everything you do has got to be fast.
Hey Bobcats, make sure to show your love and follow the Bobcats on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and their YouTube channel.
The independent agents of Texas Farm Bureau Insurance want to put you in the middle of the action during an upcoming Texas State football home game. Go online to bobcatscontest.com and register to win an ultimate fan experience. That includes 2 reserve tickets to the game, sideline access, pre-game hospitality passes, and official game day t-shirts for you and a guest. Don't miss this opportunity to be up close to the action, courtesy of official proud partner Texas State Farm Bureau Insurance. Register now at bobcatscontest.com.
Welcome back to All in Texas State Football. I'm Brant Freeman. Normally at this time, we take a look at the Bobcat opponent, but this week we're looking at the Bobcats themselves. And for more on Texas State, we're joined over the phone by Joe Vizzelli from the San Marcos Daily Record. Joe, thanks for joining us. The Bobcats have hit the halfway point of their season, one that's been challenging so far between a front-loaded schedule, a slew of injuries, and a midseason coaching change. What is your evaluation of the season so far here for Texas State?
Surprisingly, with how things have kind of gone for them to begin the season, they're probably only one game off of where they kind of anticipated going into the year when you consider who they had to play with Houston and Louisiana Lafayette and starting the season out against Florida State. And I think at this point, they probably would have been anticipating a 3-3 kind of position, but unfortunately that game against Southern Miss got away from them. So I don't think they're too far behind schedule, and the back half of the season is a lot of easier games in the second half versus the first half.
We mentioned the midseason coaching change. Now Brad Franchione, the defensive coordinator, after the departure of John Thompson. We've seen a couple of games now from the defense under Brad Fran. How do you feel like they're adapting to the change so far?
I think they've adapted to it well. They've really liked what they've heard from Brad Franchione. And the interesting thing that Coach Fran talked about after the game against South Alabama, he talked about how now Brad Fran is starting to institute a lot of different ideas about what he wants to do defensively. They end up doing an amoeba front where they basically had no down linemen on one play. So you're seeing Brad Franchione begin to put his concepts into some of the things that he wants to do.
Looking at the other side of the football on offense, how do you feel like the offense has performed so far, and who needs to step up the most offensively over the remainder of the season?
Well, I think the play of the offense has been erratic really at times. I mean, they've shown some great signs against Southern Miss early in the season. Saturday night against South Alabama, really they were able to run the ball, and I think a lot of that was the fact of the rain and the conditions that were on the field. But really for the first time, I think Rob Lowe looked like the Rob Lowe of old. And for a guy that needs to step up, I think he's the key, especially with Chris Nuttall being down for the second half of the year. When Rob is able to run the ball the way he can, this offense becomes extremely dangerous, especially with how Tyler Jones, even if the passing game isn't working, he can still run the ball on the read option and a lot of different things. So I think that offensively they'll be much more consistent, and that should help them moving forward this year.
With that home-friendly schedule coming up on the horizon, do you feel like things are lining up the way they need to for Texas State?
I think they're lining up well now. The interesting thing is they have 3 straight home games, all against teams that are in the bottom half of the Sun Belt. So they're really, in a lot of ways, they'll be favored to win those games. And you have to think that the schedule sets up pretty well for them to have at least a chance at a 6 or 7 win season and ultimately potentially a bowl game. I know that Coach Fran doesn't like to talk about the B word as he refers to it, but the way things kind of set up in the second half, they at least are in a position to have a shot at that. And that's why the win over South Alabama on Saturday night was really crucial, because if they had lost the Jaguars, they probably would have put themselves in a position where they might have been in too much trouble and had too much of a deficit to make up in the second half.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
And that'll do it for this week's episode of All in Texas State Football. I'm Brant Freeman, reminding you to unleash your battle cry. We'll see you next time.